Josue is here. He's going to be our victim.
What's up, everybody?
But you finished Bionic Commando Rearmed 1, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
it's nice and challenging, and yeah, you can jump in this one.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
There's some new abilities and new skills. Still looks incredible. This was Grin's game. Grin made this one too. Yeah. And just super crazy fun. So we'll play a little bit of Bionic Commando Rearmed. And you guys know the drill. This is Let's Play and Chat. If you've got any questions or comments or anything that you want to talk about that happened over the weekend or about Marvel Ultimate Alliance or anything, just go ahead and shoot them our way. Help me out with all caps if you can. Uncle Jay says, yes, I love Bionic Commando on PS3. Now, this is a buried treasure I have tried and played and enjoyed a lot, says Robert Lino. Wesley West and Xbox One can play Bionic Commando 2. So, yes, Rearmed 2. I downloaded this. It was only $6 here in Vancouver, Canadian pricing. So it's probably like $4 or something in the States. It's like cheaper than a cup of coffee. It's pretty crazy, right?
Great.
Or a latte. Yeah, I love this franchise. This is the whole idea. Comment, Fat Shark made this. Grin closed. Ah, thank you, Blair Farrell. Always there with the stats for us. Guy knows his games. What difficulty did you play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on? I played it on regular difficulty. I want to see these games. I want to progress in them. Yeah. So I don't challenge myself with, you know, hard on the very first time that I'm going to play some of these things. Otherwise, I wouldn't get anywhere. I'd be frustrated, and you'd see every one of my reviews is like, be like, I hated this game. It was too hard. So I try not to do that too much. I like to see the stories, right? I want to get into it.
Yeah, in a reasonable amount of time.
And yes, absolutely. Dude with a gun. Any new movies, games, or shows you would add to your 100 best of all time list? Wow. Oh boy, yeah, there's got to be tons, and I don't know what I would take out. So, yes, it's time for us to revisit that. I've been talking to Scott Jones about him coming on the show soon, so maybe that'll be something I can broach with him, that we should get together again and do some of those, because that was a lot of fun. Question from Blair Farrell. Did you get stuck on any of the bosses on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? I found a few spike too high. Yes, Blair Farrell, and you know what you do is you go back out into the Infinity Challenges and you do your grinding there, and you buy the experience point upgrades or you earn the experience point upgrades, and then you can go back and I think I know what boss you're talking about, but I had to do that a little bit. I was ignoring that stuff. I did one or two just to sort of know what the Infinity Challenges were, and then I realized, no, that they're integral to the experience, particularly if you're either stuck on a boss or you want to level up some of your characters that you've been ignoring, which was kind of a concern for me because I like so many of those Marvel characters that I wanted to beef them all up, and I didn't like leaving so many of them sort of just sitting there at level 9 or whatever. But then when you go back into the Infinity Challenges, that's when you pull some of those characters back out, and you can play those challenges over and over again, by the way. So you can beat up 200 bad guys and earn a bunch of cubes, which is fun. Question from Famous Seamus: how did it feel knowing that this STC was the first year without Stan Lee? Fantastic question, Famous Seamus. Yeah, I think about Stan all the time, you know, like I was very fortunate, like a lot of people, to get to know him a little bit, and I hosted panels with him at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's weird that he's not here. I love the homages, I love the recognition that he's getting in front of Marvel movies and stuff. He lived a beautiful, long life, and he was more appreciative of it than anybody. But yeah, it's weird to live in a world filled with so many Marvel superheroes. I mean, let's face it, this past weekend was like a tribute to his imagination, and he's not there, you know. And but that's a beautiful thing, man. If you dare to dream and build some really beautiful things that people dig, they can go on and have a life of their own and inspire generations of new imagination, you know. And yeah, I miss him. He was awesome, and you know. It really bugs me when he gets, whenever anybody talks about him and sort of diminishes his creative output or his importance in the culture. I'm of the school that thinks that there should be a Stan Lee statue at Disneyland now. You know, Marvel is as important to Disney as anything else that they have in their park, and you can see a statue of Walt Disney when you go there. There should be a Stan Lee statue right there. Maybe he should be with Jack Kirby. Maybe he should be with Steve Ditko. But Stan should be there, as should George Lucas in statue form. Big question. Didn't know I was going to get so introspective there. Robert Lino, what other franchises would you love to see Capcom bring back? I would pick Gargoyle's Quest and Beautiful Joe. Now, Gargoyle's Quest, was that based off of Ghosts and Goblins? Was that was it a derivation of that? I can't remember.
I guess so. I never really thought about it.
Because there was the Gargoyles show, but I don't think they did because it got confusing because Capcom used to do licensed games like that, and I know that they did I think Gargoyle's Quest was based on the Ghosts and Goblins, and that would be rad to come back. Ghosts and Goblins, you know, or Maximo. Yeah, that would be rad to come back. That's a good one. I think it's time for another Bionic Commando game, even if it's a 2D experience like this. That's the thing that really shocked me about playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance again. It's like there's nothing new here, but it's great. You know, it just felt fantastic to play, and Blair Farrell will probably back me up on that. Sometimes it's just really fun to, you know, experience something we're already kind of familiar with, but maybe with some enhanced, you know, mechanics or some tweaked visuals, but very similar to what we know and love, you know. And this franchise, these classic games stand the test of time, and they show that, you know. Am I going to continue to play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? Yes, I am, Audrey on Leon. But now you guys know, right? Like, I've reviewed it, so I got to go on to the next stuff. And Fire Emblem is coming out this week, so I'm angling to be reviewing that very soon. We're going to be seeing the Once Upon a Time. No, what is it? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this week. So there'll be a Film Fury review of that, and. I'm also looking at that Sky game, that the team from Journey, that game people.
That game company.
Yeah, they put it out on iPhone, so I should have some thoughts on that pretty soon as well. But I love Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I've already bought the DLC because I want all those other characters, so I definitely will be playing it. So you'll see me online. Sorry to miss this live. You rock, Vic. Thank you so much, Nick Carney. You rock. So, but you're here. You're watching it live, unless you just dropped that comment in and then said, I'm out. You could have done that. Jeff Meacham, how's Steve Tilley doing? Is he going to be on the show? I Facebooked with Steve because he didn't make it to E3 this year, which was a shocker. It was a shocking E3. I felt like I was the only guy running around doing interviews on the floor this year. It was weird. But yes, he is due to come on the show very soon. I miss that guy. You know, trust me, all of those folks will be on EP soon. Absolutely. Blade Blur question: since you are finished with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, would you play other games that, with the EP Discord watchers? Yes, absolutely. And I'll try to keep you guys abreast of some of the stuff that I'm working on, so that we can do a little bit more of this multiplayer stuff. I'd like to do a multiplayer kind of sequence from the show itself. I think that would be fantastic. Okay, we have time. Just beat Bionic Commando on my hacked SNES Classic. It's been over 25 years since I kept my OG NES all day and night to finish it. Oasis Beyond. Great comment. I actually have a Bionic Commando story. There's a film director, a writer and director that's based here in Vancouver named Raul Inglis. And we went to University of Victoria together and we're friends. And I was in some of his stuff that he was directing when he was out there. But he knew I love video games. And when we both kind of reconnected here in Vancouver, one day he came over and I happened to be playing Bionic Commando, and he said, I just want to watch. I'm going to watch you play this game from beginning to end. So I guess I was like the first streamer. Because he just sat there and watched me play the whole freaking game. I went all the way to the end, and do I kill Hitler in that one? I think I killed Hitler at the end of Bionic Commando. Incredible. Just an amazing game. And he just watched the whole thing. Raul, if you're out there, love you, buddy. I hope you're doing well, man. It's been a long time. Jamie Andrews, just like EP has a life of its own. Oh, that's very nice.
Yes.
Good, because I played I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 specifically to play with you. He's got the tongue out. That's Blade Blur. Yes, we are going to play that. I did actually reach out. I tried to figure out the co-op on the game is a little bit finicky. It's not as easy as, oh, my friend is playing. It's not Xbox Live friends list or PlayStation 4 friends list. It's, you guys know, it's Nintendo's kind of hacked kind of online stuff. So I tried to find other people that were playing, but I was playing Pacific time fairly late last night after the kiddo was asleep. So needless to say, I didn't play with people that I wanted to play with, but I definitely do want to play with some friends. You know what? I'll bring in the Switch again this week, and we'll try to play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 from the show with people. Okay? So we'll make that happen. Sorry, Vic, that was the Ren. Yeah, and the Ren was one of the guys that we were trying to connect with, but he's in Winnipeg time, and yeah, so it's just trying to get all the hours together. Famous Seamus, do you remember the remake of Bionic Commando, the one where the arm was your character's wife?
Armed and Reloaded? No.
Was that
that was the other one.
Oh, that
it was just called Bionic Commando.
The 3D one.
The 360 one. Yeah.
I can't remember that element of it. Was that part of the story? It was the arm was the wife? That's so crazy. Wow. You have to finish the first boss in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and then you talk to Nick Fury, and then make a room for friends specifically. It's kind of complicated. I did do that. I made a room. Oh, but I didn't make it for friends specifically. I just made it because none of my friends were playing it. You know, I tried, guys. Spoiler alert: Bionic Commando 2009. Yes, he means the 2009 3D game. What are people's choices for chat on Switch? That's a Blurfell question. I like to FaceTime. The only person I've done that with has been Johnny Millennium, and it gets pretty heated when we're getting into a fight, because then you can see the person, which is pretty fun. Hitler's head exploding is a signature of Bionic Commando series. That's from Sam IM 111. Let's see what we got here. Wolfenstein VR is also out. Yeah, I guess I haven't put on the VR headset in a little while. Got to do that for sure. Let's see. Blair Farrell, the radiation wasn't so unforgiving. VR Grid is asking, how much are you using the Quest? I haven't played it in a couple of weeks, but it's sitting right there charged and ready to go. So I definitely need to get that back on my head. VR Grid, let me ask you, what's new and definitely worth checking out on the Quest right now? What's different since the launch stuff? What's the hot new experience there? Let us all know in the chat. Comment, I'm upset Mega Man X is finally returning to smart devices, Abby Jameson. Oh, are they making a new Mega Man X, but it's only going to be on the phones? They might just get it out there to sort of pay for the bills, and then if it's good, they'll make a console version of the game too. We'll see. I am excited for the Avengers game. The leaks from San Diego Comic-Con have been great. That's Geek Hero of comics and consoles. See, I told you guys, that's the content that I saw behind closed doors at E3. And I know because the plan is for them to release it, I'm sure. And when they do, all the haters and doubters are going to be very, very hyped because it's super cool. I mean, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and I said this in the review, is a fun experience, but it's definitely, you know, a dated kind of feeling game. It feels like something that came out a couple of generations ago, which isn't a bad thing. Like this came out a few generations ago, still super fun. But Marvel, the Avengers game is about state-of-the-art with all of these different characters. And Crystal D is an incredible developer. They know they can't botch it. Square Enix has got a lot riding on this as a publisher. And Marvel Games, I mean, now they've had the new version of Marvel Games, the current existing one, has had Spider-Man, which is crossed over. That also happened on the weekend. It's the biggest selling superhero video game of all time. The PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game beat all the Arkham titles, which I'm okay with. Still Batman games are better. But you know, they have that, and they have the success now of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I think it's universally being recognized as a very successful game. And and the Iron Man VR experience should be a lot of fun later this year. But they're on this drive to create the Marvel game universe, and they know they can't botch it, you know. And that might mean that we might get some delays. We might have to wait a little bit longer, but they've got some really good stuff in the pipeline, and I'm super stoked. And I hope, honestly, that it inspires Warner Brothers and DC to experiment a little bit more, go out beyond the Batman world, and give us lots of other great superhero titles that way. Let's see, we got VR Grid came back with Super Hot VR as a showstopper on the Quest, thanks to it being untethered. That is an awesome game. Feels like we've been playing a lot of the best VR stuff for 2 or 3 years, though. It feels like it hasn't shifted all that much. There's been standouts like Beat Saber and Vader Immortal, but yeah, I feel like we need something really big to shake it up. Although there was that big PlayStation 4 VR, the Blood and Money or something like that. I heard that was killer. I did not play that yet, though. Question, though, on Activision wanting to get purchased by Disney, all of those Marvel video game rights would get very untangled. Is that the new rumor? Have you heard that, Blake? Activision wanting to get bought by Disney? Wow. That's crazy. If that's happening, that would be huge. Maybe Blair is just dreaming. He wants all those superhero games to come back out again. I do too, buddy. I do too. That would be huge. I bought the Switch copy to get the awesome Amiibo a few weeks back. You bought it twice. Oh, Geek Hero of Comics has got his EPN shirt. Thank you so much. You rock. VR Grid. Even the VR Grid. VR is still a little still right now. Yeah, the Quest was some power boosters, though. We might see some really big shifts very soon. Can't wait for Spider-Man 2 on the PS5 Pro Plus in 8K from Uncle Jay. VR is going to be a little stagnant until 2021. Next gen VR. This is from the horse's mouth right here. This is from the VR Grid. Okay, how good is 8-Bit coffee? The 8-Bit Beans coffee? I have it all the time, and the way that I actually put it into smoothies. I know you guys ever do that? Smoothies with a little bit of coffee in it. It's fantastic. But I've heard nothing but good reports on the 8-Bit Beans coffee. This is the espresso playground. Our own coffee with 8-Bit Beans. They've got a bunch of other flavors too.
I do cereal with a bit of coffee.
Do you really?
That's my trick.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Coffee only.
It's getting time to wrap up the show. I'm going to answer one more question. Do you wish that they would have kept in some of the RPG elements in MUA 1 in 3, character-specific equipment, min-max stat management? Yeah, that's not a bad comment. I really just wanted to play as the characters. I liked that there is some, you know, RPG stuff in there, but it's not weighted down by it. It kicks you right back into the action quite a bit. So it really feels like an action game. And in fact, in some of the Infinity challenges, you can go out as as specific individual heroes, and it's just you against a bunch of enemies, and it feels so much like an old action game, which was cool. I guess the only thing that I would want out of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is you know, just maybe more gloss overall on the visuals, a little 4K kind of sparkle. And I don't know if we're ever going to get that, because it feels like Marvel is sort of tied to, the Ultimate Alliance game now is tied to the Nintendo platforms. Although, I saw a rumor, it's just rumor, that the next Zelda game might be out in 2020. End of 2020 with a new Switch, which is more focused on being a home console, which would of course be powerful enough to be 4K and maybe up-res some of that stuff, which would be very interesting. It would be like Nintendo saying, well, we're gonna, you know, subvert the old way of making a console and then maybe a handheld derivative. They started with a handheld and console. Now they're going to have a handheld only,
yeah.
And if they released a console only,
full circle.
It is kind of full circle, and it's like, here's your buffet of choices with the Switch moniker, you know, which, I don't know, that could be really clever. I would be down for a Switch console that, you know, makes all of these awesome Switch games look a little bit prettier, and then is tied to the release of a new Zelda. I think they do all right with that decision. I miss the equipment. I think the ISO 8 stuff is too convoluted. It is convoluted. I don't know. I feel like you can get costumes. I'm good enough with that. I'm good enough with the costumes. I mean, it'd be cool to put belts and stuff. I mean, certainly they could embellish and add to it. Maybe that's what they're going to do with this sells enough and Marvel Ultimate Alliance continues as a franchise. Wouldn't that be great? All right, you guys. That's going to do it for our show today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for playing. Did you do okay?
Thank you. I beat one level.
Yeah, very nice.
I put the other one on hard.
Very nice. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday. Our guests are going to be from Typhoon Studios in Montreal to talk about Journey to a Savage Planet. So please come back, and you can watch it live here at 390 West Hastings in Vancouver, or you can watch it on the stream right here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Play forever.